The disciple and the guru. Ultimately speaking, there is not a guru and not a disciple, no teacher or teaching, because what you are is not teachable. Have you anything to say? So in what sense can we understand the word disciple? To be a disciple means to prepare oneself to face the truth. It is a profound need to be one with truth. The preparation is the result of seeing that one's life is dispersed, that it is still meaningless, that one is lost in trying to escape from a meaningless life. When the question, what is the meaning of life, appears in all urgency, when one is ready to give all to this question, then one is a disciple of truth, of life. So there is a clear moment when one is not a disciple and when one is? Absolutely. When you are a disciple of life, all doings refer to the question, to truth. Life may not change outwardly, but there is a feeling of inner orientation, a conviction of the quest. How can actions refer to the truth when one is not yet established in truth? The threshold of truth is the absence of calculation, the not knowing state. All that appears in you refers to this thoughtless ground, your silence. Every object appears and dies in this stillness. What are the signs for oneself that one is oriented on the right scent? You have the inner conviction from an insight of the truth. You are free from daydreaming, free from intention. You are free from compensations. You feel many moments without lack. You are more free from yourself. Well, is it necessary when one is oriented to have a teacher? You may need it because you are not yet established. The real disciple who refers all appearings to his openness, to his not knowing, does not look for anything objective. He knows that truth cannot be found in an object. He lives only in openness, this waiting without waiting for anything. In this not knowing, the desire may come up to meet one who is established in the openness. But a disciple will never go to see someone from curiosity or to look for a teacher, because he already knows that anything he finds is not the guru. So one lives in openness, and in this openness, the guru finds one? Yes, that is certain. It is only alert waiting, without waiting for anything that brings you to the openness. The guru is the openness. So whoever goes looking for a guru can never find him, because he is not objective and cannot be sought. As long as you are not open, and unless you are completely open, he cannot find you. So the guru is awake in the disciple before the disciple is found by the guru as a human being? Yes, only then can the guru in you find itself. The ego can only see an object, never the guru. It is only when you have the forefeeling of truth, when you are a disciple of truth, that the guru can meet you. What then would you say is the role of this human guru? To help the passage of the self, which is looking for itself, to find itself. Only one who is established in openness can help with this passage, because otherwise the personality blocks the passage. The guru is free from identification with what he is not. This presence in freedom stimulates the presence in the disciple. So then this is the transmission? Yes, but you see, there is nothing to transmit, only to awaken what is already there. Because there is so much confusion over the transmission of this and that, energy and powers and states and so on. Is that what you mean? But all these belong to the phenomenal world. They have nothing to do with your real nature, which is not phenomenal. They are experiences which, in the minds of the ignorant, are confused with the experience without an experiencer, the non-experience. Does one always know immediately when one has been found by the right teacher? The presence of the guru is instantaneous, but if you are not ripe, it may take time to penetrate. And by ripe, you mean completely open, in innocence of all ideas and preconceptions and book knowledge? Is it the same as when you are open to being surprised? Yes. When you find yourself in a state without reference, you are open to the absence of yourself, the unexpected. So then a real disciple already has a forefeeling of the answer. He feels his autonomy, and this autonomy is in a way confirmed by the presence of the teacher. Yes. When you feel more and more free from being something, free from need, when you feel at home in your total absence, when you are free from the teacher, you have found the right teacher. So if I have more than one teacher, or I look for another teacher after my guru dies, I have not yet met the guru? No, there is only one guru. When you meet the guru, it is forever. It is beyond your life, beyond your phenomenal appearance. Until one has caught the scent, all looking is in ignorance. People who do guru shopping look for bargains, and they fall into the hands of merchants, so-called teachers, who want students at any price, who need students for psychological survival. Guru shopping is a lack of maturity, a lack of inquiry. The emphasis is on the person, and such people are not disciples. They are fundamentally lazy. A real disciple is never lazy. In a mature student, the quest is one-pointed, not dispersed. He or she gives all their love to the quest. A disciple already feels that the answer is only to be found in silent living with the question. There is no eccentric energy to go looking outside. And what is it you mean by silent living? Not to touch the quest, not to manipulate it with book knowledge, comparison, interpretation, reference to the already known. As you said, to live in complete innocence with the quest. Can you talk a little more about those who are not yet oriented, who have not the fore-feeling of their real nature? What can they gain from being in the presence of one who is established in openness? When you look at the teacher as a person, as something objective, then you can never find yourself in this looking. You will find only the person over and over again, and this will leave you dissatisfied, and it keeps you in conflict. But a guru gives no hold to this projection, and there may come a day when you feel the non-objective in yourself. Everything must be submitted to what is non-objective. Surrender all that you are not. But before you can surrender this that you are not, you must know what it is that you are not. This calls for unbounded exploration. In knowing what you are not, there is presence. Give all your love to this presence, and you will discover it is not an object. Surrender is not a thought. You can only surrender to surrender itself. Are there any obstacles in that realm before one has a fore-feeling of truth? There may be the tendency to stay in old patterns, in ignorance hidden by a new vocabulary. Then there may come a lack of exploring where a lazy mind has taken over. This I call being in the garage. What about those who learn to articulate the words of the teacher and who may have had certain experiences? Often they think themselves ready to teach. Is this the case, or are they in the garage? They are in the garage and look for compensation in teaching. The blind leading the blind. Real knowing comes from not knowing. Well, sometimes one feels a certain understanding and one has no more vital questions. But one must have a question. When you don't have any more questions, it is because you are lazy, tamasic, or the ego is in the way, wanting to be something or appear as something. When you are earnest in the quest, you live in alertness and humility. Well, what keeps the exploration aflame? Only listening, attention free from qualification and anticipation. Awareness will keep you from falling into the old trap of projecting desires for this and that. Otherwise, one lives in self-deception. Is it not normal to want to be in the company of the guru if he mirrors oneself, the lover with the beloved? When you have the right feeling of what you are always with the guru. When you really feel what you are, there is not separation. It does not belong to space and time. You are still identified with an object. In your profound absence of ego, there is no need to be with or without. You are free from all objects. So if one feels the need for something when the guru is away, or one feels lack, then you are not a disciple. You are still attached to the body-mind, to an object. As long as you take yourself to be a disciple, you are not a disciple. When you take yourself for a disciple, you will take the Guru as a teacher and emphasize his person. You must never look for a teacher as something perceived. To be the knowing is a fundamental, original feeling in yourself. So when you think of the Guru, the thought is only a pointer to this original feeling which you have in common, where there are not two. There must be no fixation on the teacher. In other words, let his total absence remind you of what you are fundamentally. Surrender all to the non-objective, the silence. What would you say to one who has a feeling for what you are talking about, but has not yet consciously experienced it? He or she is potentially a disciple, and I would say the only thing to do is to live with all your attention, all your heart, give all your love to the sayings of the Guru. It is only in living in deep intimacy with the sayings that there is an answer. Don't look for anything else, for everything else is rubbish. See how you jump constantly from one thing to another. When there is understanding, there is no more jumping. Then when there is an insight, when there is a moment of living understanding, transpose it into your daily life. And is this this transposition a voluntary act? When you have understood something deeply, the transposition is spontaneous to all areas of your life. It is only this transposition that assures you that you have really understood. Otherwise, the understanding remains abstract. It is not a transposition of the words, nor the looking for the equivalent in one's experience. The words are not the meaning. It is not a transposition in thinking, but in action, in daily happenings. But surely a moment of fundamental insight or understanding strikes every corner of one's existence, so that transposition is simply recognizing that the insight is on every level. Yes, that is precisely what it means. It is seeing all physical and psychological levels, all occurrences from the ultimate view. But first, live with the sayings. Well, as everything a guru says can be meditated upon, can you give us a few sayings which you regard as essential to live with? Certainly, I would say what you are looking for is already there, before all physical appearance. It is. So all looking can only lead to an object. Don't try to find a cause for happiness or moments of fulfillment. There is no cause. As long as you look for and give a cause, you turn your back on the fullness, the message of the moment. Come to understand clearly that there is no seen without seeing, no heard without hearing. Bring the seen back to the seen, the heard back to the hearing. You are the openness, and it is only in waiting without waiting that you become open to the openness. In the end, openness is what it is open to, and waiting is what it is waiting for. This is all. Live with these sayings. Let them become living understanding. This means be aware how they act in you, how their perfume invades your body and your mind. Become one with this perfume. You can never remember this essence which is behind the words. You can only remember the sayings. But when you have once been attuned to the essence of the words, they are no longer simply sayings, but pregnant with their source. Then when you allow the words to be the word, they have the power to transform. Live in identity with the silence in the sayings.